All righty, so I want to say God bless you. This is March the 3rd, 2016. This is another Royal Ministry call. This past week, I was very, very concerned about the video that I posted on Facebook. It was a very cruel scene. It was a scene of an Arab man, a businessman, I would assume, that actually beat a homeless black man for stealing water. And it started off with the homeless black man with his back up against the wall, sitting on his rump with his hand wrapped around his knees to protect himself from an attack. And then the Arab man grabbed a board and just started beating him. And he started stomping him. And he started kicking him in the head. I mean, really kicking. In fact, once the man was out cold, you saw the foot of the Arab man go back, and they wouldn't even show the unprotected kick to the side of the head, which was another one. Some people that saw that responded to me, said that was too hard to look at. But as bad and as difficult as that was, that stuff is going on every day and far, far worse. Now, if you're going to prepare yourself for life, you must prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for warfare and for battle. You may be surprised to know, we look at a lot of the Nature Channel, you may be surprised to know that one of the most fierce animals in Africa, you would say, is the lion. And then you might say, no, yeah, the lion is powerful, but sometimes the lions give way to the hyenas, which is true. But did you know that those dogs, wild dogs, have the most powerful bite of any mammal? And they're small, with little skinny legs, but all of the power is in the bite. And they talk about the progression of things, how survival is all about being prepared in every way. If you're going to survive as a human being, you're going to have to do what those who have mastered survival do. Well, let's take a look at some of the things that they have mastered. And we, as particularly black people who now are a endangered species almost, who have suffered more abuse, more being the victim of more senseless killing than any people in the history of this globe, I think it's time that we need to take a look not at people as our example and role models, but let's look at those animals that survive. And if they fail to fight back, if they fail to think, if they fail to be clever, then the next day is probably not going to be theirs. First of all, you have to recognize that you are in a hostile environment. You've got to admit that. You've got to admit that death and your last breath can come from any direction. You have to understand that being vigilant and prudent to what's going on around you is a must. Therefore, we understand why they have dope in our communities. Therefore, you understand why you can get a liquor store when you can't get a regular business. Therefore, you understand why our water is filled with fluoride, which was used to dumb down the Jews and affects your mental state. Therefore, you understand why they have so much on TV and so many games, to keep you from thinking about the reality of your hostile situation. We, as black people, are in a jungle. When I was involved in pro boxing and I would go to New York City, we always related to the city as the asphalt jungle. In New York City, you can quickly find yourself snuffed out. Many cities now are like that, but that still is the kingpin. You go to Hong Kong, China, you understand you're in a urban jungle, and you had better treat it like a jungle. But do you understand as a black person that in the United States of America and in most parts of the world, Planet Earth now to you is a hostile, dangerous jungle. So what do those animals do? Many of them work together. Those who would be natural enemies, even crocodiles understand that even though their nature is not to share and is not to work together, they understand when the wildebeests are coming across that it is in their best interest to work together. Crocodiles learn that though they can kill meat, their jaws cannot chew meat. They have learned that one would have to grab the carcass on one end, the other grab the carcass on the other end, and they'll twirl in opposite directions and rip it off very quickly. They even understood the nature of working together. Those animals who are victimized the most, the ones that seem to be the prey to almost everybody, which is what black people are. We are the prey to every color of people on the face of the earth. We've been in slavery to the red man, the white man, and the yellow man. And we still seek to be buddy-buddy with most of them. Every day that we exist, we see more atrocities taking place, and the worst atrocities are being hidden from you. You better believe it. They're being hidden in institutions, hidden behind walls, hidden in hospitals, hidden in jails, hidden in laboratories and secret places where dirty, terrible, defiled things are being done and planned for your destruction. So as a black person, you have got to learn that, first of all, you want to learn what is your strength. What is your strength? First of all, that has to be in the forefront of your mind, that this is something you can do. The snake knows, well, I can't run, but I can bite. The crocodile knows, well, I'm no good on the land, so I'll get you in the water. The hyena knows, well, I don't have the speed of the lion, but I can run longer than almost any animal in Africa. I'll wear you down and just keep smelling where you went, and eventually when you run out, I'll catch up with you. What is your strength? What is your strength? Not only physically, what is your mental strength? What is your verbal strength? You need to know what your strengths are. And you need to know what the strengths are of those who are around you every day. I tell people, because it was given to me, to find 5 people. The 5 people that you align yourself with the most, you're going to be talking like and acting like. So if you're acting and associating with people who are living a lifestyle of being a victim, you will find yourself thinking and acting in that same way. If you align yourself with people who say, sure, better as hell not come this direction thinking I'm going to be a victim because I will be a victimizer, then you'll start acting that way. What can Africa's wild animals teach us? I want you to start looking at the channel sometimes and just take a look at it. Take a look at how there is no real concern for the young people of your enemy. Is that why white people sold black children as puppies? Is that why white people use black babies as alligator bait? Huh? Is that why white people used black people so to such an extent that they could hardly keep the shipments coming in? Rather than to keep them healthy, they just let them die and get some new ones. There was no concern for the youth. In the animal kingdom, there's no real regard for the young offspring of an upcoming enemy. Isn't that strange? But yeah, when you see little Johnny with his little blonde hair and blue eyes, oh, he's so cute, and you'd be more concerned about him than your little child sometime with the little black hair and the dreads, then you have an issue. Because the animal kingdom doesn't give a damn about an opposing enemy that's going to one day grow up, and in all probability will be an enemy. Now, the animal kingdom will teach you some things as well. There was a video the other day of a lion, ruthless and powerful, but he got away from his strength. And he was in the process of making an attack. by himself, powerful, all powerful almost. But what he did was he was trying to kill one of these big bulls, the bulls that have the curved horns, the bulls that are considered one of the most aggressive animals in Africa. Their way of defending themselves, like I say, you got to know what your strength is. They know that their strength is not in when they run. Their strength is when they attack. We went on a trip not long ago, a deer trip, and we were in an area where we didn't know. We saw an area where it looked like it could have been bears. We know there are coyote packs out, and Kaylon and Kevin and I were in an area that we were unfamiliar with, and there were wild animals there. And a lot of times people are on regular little hiking trails and running the bears and stuff like that. So what I said to Kevin and Kaylon, and we all agreed upon, is if we run into something hostile, like wild hogs are a terrible, terrible enemy. They hate people. A wild hog will be your worst nightmare. You'd rather run into a group of the Ku Klux Klan possibly than to offend a wild hog with his razor-sharp horns. They would try to tear the side of the tree bark off to get you. We made a commitment that if we were attacked by anything, we would not run. Sometimes you got to understand that standing your ground, isn't it strange that in Florida they say stand your ground? Sometimes standing your ground is your best defense, rather than to run, rather than to hide, rather than to try to negotiate. So as black people, we need to understand the strategies of survival. You're not going to learn it from your Chinese friends. They know it, and they're not going to tell you a damn thing. Excuse my language. You're not going to learn it from your red friends. You're not going to learn that from your white friends. How many of them have ever told you or talked to you about how you should think to survive? They don't care. If you don't know, they feel like you really just shouldn't even probably be here, or why waste my time with somebody that hasn't thought about what they need to do to survive. The whole world is concerned, should I say amazed at the fact that black people haven't figured out yet what the ants have figured out. You know, they have what they call killer ants, ants that will attack human beings and will take them out. They have killer bees that will attack human beings and everything and take them out. But we have not yet figured that at some point in time, we quote the scripture to everything in Ecclesiastes 3, there's a time for everything and a season for every purpose under heaven. Well, my God, when is the season for you to become defensive? When is the season for you to attack? When is the season for you not to lay down but to fight to your death for your own cause and your own people? Now that goes back to something else as well. There's something else that the animal kingdom also teaches, that everything that looks like you is not your friend. You find it in the lion prides. If a lion comes and he is not of that pride, then he becomes an enemy. He had better go. Why? Because they don't know where he's coming from, and they know the nature of themselves. His nature is he's going to come, he's going to try to kill off the male, and he's going to also kill off all of his young ones because they haven't got big enough to fight, and he's going to take over all of the females. So you've got to learn that though something looks like you, has an afro, has braids, says all black power, I love you, brother, what's happening, brother, you my nigga, and all this other stuff, you may be dealing with your worst devil right there. So the animal kingdom teaches you not to put your guard down for any reason, and any individual that you do not know that is really in your corner. If they haven't established that they're in your corner, then you can't trust them. Well, the mafia knows about it. The gangs know about it because they want you to prove yourself. How many of your so-called friends have proven themselves to you? But you're so quick to say, yeah, that's my gal, man. That's my gal. That's my dude. That's my ace. That's my partner. That's my homie. That's my brother. That's my sister. And you haven't even determined whether or not if that is also your death, your loss of your property, your biggest embarrassment, and your main enemy. Could my main enemy look like me? Yes, your main enemy can look like you. Run up to Chirac. Go to New York City. Go to Los Angeles, South Central. And you can tell that everything that looks like you is not your brother, because what is working in his head is a program that will not hasten to your demise, would kill you if they could, would rob you if they could, would rape your woman, kill you, molest people if they could. So you cannot say by color that a person is your brother, your sister, your homie, or your friend. The animal kingdom, if you study it, will teach you that. So what does a male lion do? A male lion knows that if another lion gets to be older and he is the child or the offspring of a wandering male, what does he do? He kills him off instantly, but he will not eat him for anything. He's not worthy. He doesn't want to consume the flesh of an enemy. He just wants to kill it. You say that's heartless. Yes. But it's forethought. It's survival. In the lion and the animal kingdom, they understand that all these prissy prima donna ideas have to be put aside.